I know it's a bit of a hazard that I could be repeating myself, but sometimes it's okay to go back to basics. So I'm going to do that now to try and point some stuff out. Uh, and, with the spirit of peace and tranquility and all that kind of stuff. Now, the reason I'm doing this now, so I went down to my bookshelves, and there was one old dusty volume there, and I just thought for a laugh and have a look at it, okay? It's the kind of book that we probably all got when we were like earlier on and doing whatever it is that we're doing, and then after a while, maybe we outgrew it. I mean, its writing style is, and also its layout, is very simplified. It's designed to look simple. There's some fun ideas in there, and then of course there's traditions and little spells you can do, and thoughts about things like your meditation and focus and that kind of stuff. And so therefore it's all quite good. It's all quite nice. But think about it in reality. The contents of this book, if you're to think about theories associated with the manipulation of spiritual healing energy for the purposes of doing stuff, which is essentially what all of this stuff, as well as radionics and spiritual healing and all the rest of it, is about. It's about the intention, it's about creating information, it's about creating information in the energy fields, and then it's about delivering it to a target. And the theories about the target, which is very similar to the idea of the witness sample, as they would call it in radionics, okay, is something which represents the person or thing you're sending it to. Okay, it's quite simple, but it's mainly in the theatre of the mind. So all of the stuff in that book, all the traditions and the rest of it, largely irrelevant. But also, this is where it comes into effect. It could be useful. All right. I don't think that most humans could be able to create, energy and intention just straight away, or bam, and all the rest of that stuff. I think that if there's things like regular repeated patterns which you could do over time, which helps to build up a sense of something in that place that makes that place seem a bit more special to you, or that was particular actions done in those particular ways. So there is an argument for doing things in a traditional way or building up your own understanding of traditions, but it doesn't have to be somebody else's. I don't think it has to be somebody else's, but you can base your ideas on somebody else's. So that's why these things are useful to many people, and therefore there's nothing wrong with it. If that makes you happy, then I am 110% in favor of you doing that. And not only that, but I would encourage you to carry on doing that and experimenting. If I was to have a concern, it would be about what you're thinking and whether you're thinking, when you're thinking things through, when you're doing stuff. Typically speaking, that kind of book would be very good for someone who's doing things with a few friends, or it's like a family thing, and you're doing it all together, and you think, okay, well, we'll do something from, chapter 3, this particular solstice or whatever, just there's something to hold you guys together. And therefore that's a good thing, because you've got things like public worship, which is very vanilla. You've got family celebration, which is to do with the family and the people in it. And then you've got your private personal spirituality, which is what you do when no one else is looking. All right, those are the three different levels. So there's some ways in which you could incorporate that into, the first two, the sort of public worship in your coven, and as well as private celebration amongst your family and friends. You could use that for that. Maybe not quite so much on the personal spiritual side of things, because it's not really leading you forward. Now, things like Wicca, the witchcraft movement, these are, regarded as religions. But a lot of these books, they don't necessarily go into personal self-development and what kind of person you could be turning yourself into and how to necessarily deal with problems. They're rather scant in terms of that particular depth of understanding. So you do question as to the ways in which a book of that type is actually bringing someone forward in their personal development alongside their sort of psychic spiritual practices. That would be something that would come to my mind if people don't look further than a certain level of literature. You've got to carry on finding out more things as you grow older, so that you can grow up as you carry on growing older. That's like a real thing. So thinking about the way in which they express, let's say, a spell casting, I know the bay leaf spell, that sort of thing. It's very fun, it's very sensual, it feels very natural, you feel like you're engaging with something from nature, so therefore these are all good things. But remember that is just the theatrics. If there is truth to this stuff, the work should be done on you, your meditation, your energy field, your chakras, your body scans meditation, and your ascension meditation, because the ascension meditation is the thing that opens you up to spiritual experiences much more. Right? use these things if you want to. Okay. This for your reference. This one's by Skye Alexander, Skye Alexander, the Everything Wicca and Witchcraft books, 2nd edition, and that sort of thing. There we go. If that's what you wanted to do. But on the other hand, why specifically from that particular tradition? You know, why specifically that particular image? Why specifically that particular whatever? If it's good for you, it's good for you. But I think no matter what we're doing, no matter what stage of growth we're going through in terms of spiritual or whatever things, we do need to think about why we're doing what we're doing and where we're going with what we're doing as well, if that makes sense. Alright, just a few thoughts from Nick. Bye for now.